Hello. Well, what the hell? It said as default, and it said it was using the default device, but it was pretending nothing was happening. Fricky frick. I'm seeing something in the meter now. Do you hear something now? Well, that's embarrassing. What the heck? It was set to the microphone. The microphone is set as the default device, and it was set to use the default device, but somehow that means nothing. And if I set it specifically to the microphone, it's starting to work. But ideally, this is my default device, and I just want it to work when I'm asking for the default device, so I need to figure out. Set as default. Default device. In fact, I have no other device enabled, so why? Hello? Hello? 1, 2, 1, 2. Hello? Is this too loud? Is this too loud? All my settings for nothing. Okay, now 1 second. If I... First of all, why can't I add more audio channels here? Second of all, if I set this to... I use default here. Hello? Hello? Now it's working. This is exactly the setting it was a moment ago. God damn it. Well, this stream had a rough start. Sorry about that. Well, anyway, hello again. And I was just saying, I hope you're not here for gameplay because I'm currently programming. God damn it. I used to do sound checks before every stream, but now, you know, after thousands of streams and everything working fine all the time, you don't do it anymore, and then eventually it just bites you in the butt. Okay, I think this is, should do the trick. So if I say something like this, C-O-E-L. Right? Missing. Did I run away before I finished stuff? Oh. What? Oh, because I'm just passing in the scale. Yeah, well, that's silly. All right. Okay. I see. We don't really want to do the thingy-magic here, so we'll do const R&D. So if I do something like 17 times 10 power 3, I'll get that. All right. So we should be able to do number n times 10 to the power of r math.round, and then divide by that. And then it should be nice and clean without triple the zeros that we don't need. All right. Okay. And then we should be able to modify that, and it should still work. All right. So, am I a new streamer? No, not exactly. I'm just not a very popular streamer. I'm not a very professional streamer, let's put it that way. So, my brain just got flushed. What we wanted to do is modify the X according to the bounds. I stream, well, currently I stream every Sunday for my programming streams and then game streams in between whenever I manage. But like 10 years ago, I used to stream 8 hours every day. But not on Twitch or YouTube. This was before those days. Alright. So we now have the bounds. And we need to find our position for the rightmost edge. And then we have our width. And then we have our yada yada everything. Alright, so we need the game bounds as well. So let's do that. And we'll have game bounds. I think game bounds is what we need for our positioning. Right. Width. So that's our width. So we want to have dot width minus CO bounds dot width. If I just did that as our new x coordinate, COT dot x equals that. What would that do? It just brings it off screen somehow. So let's see what happened here. Is it because it's outside the scale? Maybe. So if I add 100 here, where does that move us to? Here. And in absolute numbers. Oh, yeah, no, because we need to subtract the actual position, the current position here, this x. Okay, so that'll be width minus CO dot x minus width. Now, this might still be... Oh, no, okay, so that attaches it to the right edge. Cool. And then we'll go minus, I don't know, 20 pixels, and we'll have our little margin left alignment. Hey Shelby, how are you doing? And so this would be stick to right edge, for example. Right? And what's the right terminology for that? Dock. Dock to right. With 20 margins. And now we'll do dock to top. Boom. And it's kind of the same sort of thing. Ah, but we want to add whatever there was here before? I don't think so, actually. I don't think so, because I think the bounds do not take the transform into consideration. But should that be different in the future, we'll figure that out. So we can do y is top top. Top, does that make sense? Here. Top would be X. And then just plus 20. Unless... Yeah, so we'll have to think about transforms and things like that. What's going on here, though? So, this point, our translate gets pushed down. Do we need to subtract this? Let's see. So the bounds Y, 187. Can we just ignore that? We're moving down here, obviously, and that's not what we're expecting, right? We want it to be attached to the top. Unless the game bounds itself are moving down. I think if I change it to this, it might be a little easier to manipulate. Yeah, so where's the game now? Because the game doesn't get moved down, right? So do we have to take the existing transform into consideration after all? Maybe. So we'll have to do... But wait a second. If I move this up, the Y on the transform isn't really changed much. See, like the Y on the transform right now is just static 20, but it moves down. Because it's transformed relative to the center. Man, what is the positioning of this relative to? It's relative to game. Transform scale left top. Top 119. Oh, we have a translate and our top thingy. Maybe we need to take control of both of these. If we zero out the left and top, what kind of problems is it gonna hit us with? Let's ignore this part for now. Let's knock that out for a sec here. And we're just gonna set it manually, right? So we're gonna say dot style the trans. Actually, no, we can use the set transform, but we'll do something like this. So X 0, Y 0, scale 1, and then we'll do dots object assign style, and it's gonna be just left 0. And top 0 for now. Okay. So if we now use this with this assignment here, I don't know exactly why it's mixed. We don't do that. Okay, so it's now center positioned relative to something. So left is 0, top is 0, and it's translated over to some arbitrary position. We might have to do this before we calculate the bounds, actually. So if we do this up here, how does that change the situation? Okay. And if we do this and this, we'll also want to color it. It'll just make it easier to see where we are at. So we'll just do something like outline 2px dashed magenta. And that should give us a little dashed outline. And we'll probably want to bring it to the top just so we know exactly where it is. Z index 1000. Is that enough? Yeah. And we'll probably want to do outline offset minus 5px. Make it 10. Alright, so that should show us that yes, it is sticking to the top, but it's not sticking to the right edge. So that's interesting. And I'm wondering if that's because of the scaling. So right now, the controls panel here is translated to a particular position, which we think is but probably because of this X in the translate, which we're gonna just ignore now. Okay. So now if we want to add, I think 40 for the toolbar, right? And then we'll say plus 20 and 20 for the margins, right? It'll kind of look like that. Now the problem here that I'm already seeing is obviously it breaks the vertical layout. So we definitely need to make this dependent on vertical versus horizontal layout, right? And the way to do that is we'll have a quick look here. We'll search for portrait, figure out where orientation comes from. So resize board gets orientation passed into it. And orientation comes from a very primitive check. But this is maybe something we can, you know, actually clean up and put in here. So let's see. We'll probably want something like get orientation. Right? So game bounds, for example, how are they calculated? Using bounds on the game element. All right, so we'll have GA bounds. We'll have this. We'll have that. Something like that, right? We'll just do this for now. Just for now. And then we can do something like output the value of this. And hopefully it'll make sense. Game bounds not defined. All right. So in this case, orientation is landscape, and now it's portrait. All right. Now, obviously, iOS, when it will be updated? I basically have to build SudokuPad version 2. And that makes basically not a lot of sense to do before I do the account system. So I'll probably have to build the account system first. And I'll probably have to cut ties with CTC. Like, there's a because it doesn't make sense to do it as it is right now. Hello? Is it my, like, the moment I touch my freaking Bluetooth box, they connect, and then Windows decides, oh, we've got the headphones connected, let's switch to those. Which is horrible behavior. 1 second, let me see if I can just disable that. It makes it immediately default. It says default communication, but it shouldn't be. I never set it up that way. So if I do this now, all right, it's connecting probably. Ah, damn it. Hello? Alright, let's switch that back to default. Hello? Hello? Man, I don't know why I would do that. It's like... I don't know why some programmer at Microsoft would ever decide that this is a desirable behavior. Can I disconnect? I really don't need these to connect on their own. Thanks for letting you know, Mark. I need to figure out a way. Ideally, I'd have like a, I don't know, like a warning light. Beep, 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 no audio. But how do you detect no audio, right? Nothing became unplugged. Windows just decides that because I touch my wireless headphones over here, that now the default, the microphone needs to be this instead of my actual microphone. Even though my microphone is set as the default device, it's, you know... Microsoft loves switching things without you asking it to. Same with monitor. Every time my graphics driver updates, my sound card suddenly becomes a HDMI audio device that doesn't exist. It's ridiculous. Anyway, so we're gonna have to do a bunch of these kinds of things. This, do we need that here? We don't actually, well, we do, because we need to maintain the scale, or at least we want to. I'm just trying to think right now if I can move this into a function. Let's just create a function for now, and we'll just say pin to edge, pin controls to edge. But in the future, I need to be able to assemble the final transform from various individual switches and properties and things like that. Thanks for stopping by the way, guys. It really helps to have people in the chat to notice these things. All right, and then we'll just do, we'll do this. If I do this, right, so it'll be pinned over here on the side. And then here it won't be pinned, and then here it'll be pinned, and it won't be pinned. Yeah. Now, why is it not pinned all the way? Because we added the 20. Except the 20 at the top are taken up by this. So the top probably we want more. And we'll just use these margin numbers for now. Right? And then we'll have that. Now, the whole point of this is that we'll have something like this. And, you know, we can enable large puzzle UI. And then we can zoom in. And let's say, nope. No, can I just... Thank you. So we can just do that. Scroll and see that. Now, for example, in this case, it doesn't make sense for the controls to be this big. So there probably needs to be like a small controls option. And ultimately, we'll probably want the controls to be draggable just like these. But for now, what I would like to be able to do is to toggle this feature. Just this super primitive thing. And right now, if I don't pin to top, it'll be like this. And if I say dock to bottom, what we really want then is .height minus CO bounds dot height minus margin, for example, right? If we do dock to bottom. Now, the margin here seems a little large. So if I change this to 0, what does that look like? That doesn't look like 0, so there's something else going on. And I'm wondering if we have... let me pop this out. Nope. Let me pop this out here. I think I'm gonna just grab this. Boom, like that. Nope, like that. So, if we look at our container, which is the game. Yeah, so the game has a top. The game doesn't actually abut to the top of the screen. So we should be able to just say .y plus. And that should, yeah. And then we'll get rid of the margin, or add the margin. And now it should look like that. Okay. So we could have a few docking things going on. Now, if we get rid of that, does just docking top and bottom still work? No. Okay, so that's a bit of a problem. We kind of want to translate these into the transform to make our life a bit easier. Although, that might break something else. I don't even know why it is that way. We might also have to kind of do these separately. So we might have to say something like, if we're docking to the right, left equals nothing. Just do that. And we're doing that. We'll do top is nothing or 0. We don't actually do that in here, and this is just for debugging. So now it should stay next to the puzzle, but at the bottom. All right, so we'll add a few flags that we can pass into here. So we'll just say ops, right? And then we'll do something like top true, or controls, yeah, top true, right? And then we'll say if top true, we'll do this. So if we have if ops.top, we'll do these two things. Except that's for right. Right. And then we'll do if this dot top, do that. And if dot bottom, we'll do this. Right. And then we'll do margin 20. Or margin, whatever, this thing. Stop margin. Now this X, Y, no, Y, the 40, okay. Why did I have X in here? Doesn't make any sense. Let us do top true and not right. Something like this. So if I do this, it's now top true. Cool, cool, cool. And if I say bottom true, cool, 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 cool. And if top and bottom, it breaks. That's fine. Dock to left doesn't make sense, although it might make sense in this case. Hey, just me, how are you doing? Have you made progress? Let's try left. So I was gonna say it doesn't make sense, but of course, you know, that's exactly the sort of thing that Ranked was asking for, is to have an inverted layout, right? So if we attach it to the left, we'll do this. It'll be else if here, right? And now the X will be just that, really. Wow. And we can move that over here. Ah, but now we have a few issues over here, so... Margit is dead! Long live Margit. Congratulations. Now you have... You've got... Yeah, now you have the castle ahead of you. Hey, Margit is before the castle. Ooh, I remember the first time getting to the castle. Oh, you already had Godred. Awesome. The castle is no joke either, I find. Alright, so these things are all CSS styles. We might want to invert them, right? Is that something, though, we want to do via positioning or via injecting of styles? That's the question. So, line item stretch. Justify content center. But... we do right. No. Flex wrap line stretch. How do I get invert? If I can do CSS flex right to left. Is it flex direction? Column reverse. If I do something like, let's see, flex direction, row reverse. Okay, and that'll bring everything over on this side. So we can do this via CSS. The cost is no joke. Yeah, it is no joke. So I have two options. I have styles that I can apply, which might make sense, actually. So we might do something like, we'll do something like this. We'll have a dot layout, controls, flip, right? And then we can do something like, so if we have controls on the left, then document.body class list toggle. Oh, jeez. Okay. Class list toggle. Boom. Right. So we basically want to toggle this to on. So true. And here it's false. Right, and then we can do whatever I just did, which is all of this. Boom, flex direction, but it's gonna be for... Can we just do it for all of these? Ugh. We can try. What happens if we just do it like that? Yeah, that's not gonna work. Okay, controls. What was that first part? Let's try buttons. Oh, yeah. You have a... You're not talking about Margit, are you? How did that happen? I don't think that's something supposed to happen when you defeat Margit. Controls buttons. So we don't want all of the buttons. We want the children of it. Something like that. Okay. And if we get rid of our debugging styles here, it would look like that. And if I now flip it back to the other side, and I say right, it's back here. And if I say top true as well, it goes there. And if I disable that, it'll do that. Ooh, all right. You're not sure? Well, take it easy. Give it time. Figure it out. And when in doubt, just ask. Better to know for sure than to guess. Alright, so gonna go right here. So just gotta send that. All right, so let's turn this into some UI in settings. We don't want to have a huge, chunky user interface. So, and at the same time, I don't want to just have a long list of individual options. It is experimental, so maybe I'll just have a little... I almost feel like it needs a dialogue, and then the dialogue can get complicated. Could I have a list with options you could check? I don't think that's an easy control. I mean, for now, I could add a couple of these and just handle it that way. I think ideally it would be a separate dialogue. But I don't want to build a lot of a UI. What am I doing? This is what I do when I'm not playing games. This is a game I have for playing puzzles and Sudokus, and I'm working on new features for the game. Right now I'm trying to work on a feature that lets you put the user interface in different corners and places. And I'm currently thinking if I have a button here that you press and then pops open a dialogue, and in that dialogue I just have a couple of options for now that I can use. That's probably the best way of doing it, even though it's a little bit of a pain in my butt. So let's see. The screenshot tool has a fairly custom dialogue. Let's see if we start from there, how complex that will get. I got the screenshot tool here. We have the dialogue. We'll have handle open dialogue. Where does that come from? Okay, so that gets us the setting maybe here under handle inits, for example, right? And that's kind of good because we need a place where we actually start the whole thing. Experimental content layout, then handle open dialogue, and then we'll do dialogue. But like that. All right, so does she like Elden Ring, by the way? So now I should have a button here. Layout. Or nothing happens when I click on it. Nothing happens. Oh. Oh yeah, because I'm not actually doing anything. That's why nothing happens. Oh yeah, yeah. Okay. All right. We're gonna have to create a dialog. Let's do that. And let's do something from down here. A little bit of that, a little bit of this. Mix it all together. Shake it all about. That'll be our parts. We probably don't need that. And we'll leave that out for now, just to see if we're gonna get a dialog. Layout. Screenshot, no. Layout. Okay. So now we're gonna have to add a bunch of buttons there. Or actually, we want to add toggles. Tip. When was the last time I've made a dialog with a toggle? Actually, does the screenshot dialog have a toggle? This one, no toggle. No toggle. All custom stuff. Screenshot. Screenshot does actually have toggles. All right, so let's have a look at the toggles. Dimensions, image type. So it's kind of stuff like this. So now we can just say, "Is tomorrow in Elden Ring Live?" I'd like to, yeah. Tomorrow, maybe I'll try earlier in the day. Because sometimes I struggle to get started with work in the morning, then I might as well have a game stream as well. Well, I have one more thing to do before one of the final bosses. I have a dancing line, the second version of the dancing line to do. And then after that, I just have the DLC boss and the game final boss. So, we'll see. I might actually, I was thinking I might do some multiplayer stuff, kind of, I've never really done invasions and stuff, but maybe I can, like, offer myself in case somebody needs help with some boss or something. Alright, so, what about, I can probably get rid of these. Value, or just true. And then I can say controls to top. So if I say controls top, and then open layout, cool. And we'll initialize that to false. And then controls to bottom. And then controls right. And controls left. Right. Left. So, if I do this, cool. And we'll basically want to trigger on that toggle. And we can probably just put this back to the bottom here. If I do query selector all, sorry, that's a bit small. Dialog asterisk, not console, document. And we'll want to find all the inputs. Input dot setting toggle. Right. So if I do this, I'll just do something like I think I can do for each, right? On a node list. Dot for, yeah. So I do for each toggle or element, right? Hey guys. Hey Poochie, hey babe. Still streaming though. bye, just me. Take care. All right. Let's just get these events hooked up, get it all working, and then I'm out of here. So, for each element, we'll want to have a little handler, el.add event listener. And I think in our screenshot dialog, we'll probably did this with a handler as well. Yeah, so we'll have change, and then handle change. And I'm just gonna hack it together closely, locally here without doing the right things. And then I'll see how it goes. I mean, this is not the final version of this. This is just a quick experiment to get it in there. And I think we can do that. If I now reload this and open the dialog and then toggle things, the handle change should fire. Cool. And then here we'll probably want to have the options. And we'll have left false, right false, up false, bottom fall, god damn it, false. And we'll probably bring in by the way, these, I think we can just get rid of them here. And we'll bring in the margin here. All right, we'll just set margin 32. Cool. Margin 32. And then all this other stuff, right? And then these, and actually we want to probably carry these over between dialogues. So we'll probably want to initialize them. So this dot ops equals all that. Right. And then we'll just do const ops equals this. Ops dot top. Ops dot bottom. I think left and right should be above top and bottom. Or maybe not. I'm not sure. Ops dot left. Ops dot right. Cool. Then we want to have event target. So event dot target dot name. Does that work? Okay. And it's left, right, top, bottom. And I think these are the same left, right, top, bottom. Right. So we can do dot name dot place that with that. That should just get us the final key. Right. And then we can do this. And we can do key ops key. And I think this input now has a value. Value. I think that's what's going to get toggled, right? I'm not entirely certain. On. Input. This is what? Input type checkbox. Ah, checked. I think. Input type checkbox value. Value is just what it will return if it's toggled. But, so I think it's checked. So go here, do that, toggle that, checked, false, on. Wait, did I not save it? Maybe I didn't save it. True, false. Excellent, right. So on is true, off is false. Cool. So we can just do this. Boom, boom, boom. Boom. We'll do it twice. And this is gonna get set to whatever that is. So that should toggle it on and off in the options. And then we should just be able to tell it to start over. False, true, true, false. Okay. For now... No, because I was going to say, for now I can just always have it attached, but actually we don't want that. And this should be off. So, we basically want to be able to know if we're... so, this dot handling resize equals false. Boom. And then here we'll do if handling resize return. It's true. And then if not handling resize return. And then they are false. Right. Now, we need to check if any of these are true. Right. So, opts.values. No. Object.values opts.sum item equals true. So that should be true if one or more of them are true. So I toggle one, true, false, true, true, false, false. Okay. So, let enable equals that. Boom, right? And then we can say if enabled this dot attach element else this dot detach element. Cool, 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 cool. And is that actually gonna do that already? And we'll probably always want to execute that, even though it's technically one extra one in case we already resized. But for now, that's fine for this experimental part. So boom, boom. App is not defined. Handle change. Oh. There we go. Minor issue. So, layout. Boom, 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 boom. Bottom. Top. This seems to enable all of them. Okay. Oh, because we're not actually we're not actually passing in. Okay, so this dot opt. Right. The margin here makes sense. I think we can also hide the ones that we're not using. I think we're only using these two for now. You know what? Let's get rid of them. And in fact, we're gonna move them in here because we're not even using them out here. Cool. So now, do that. To the right. To the left. Boom. Up. Bottom. Top. Bottom. Right. Top. Bottom. Alright, so top overrides bottom, but right overrides left. No, left overrides right. That's fine. Cool, cool, cool. Alright. It doesn't persist at the moment. That's not something I can do today. And I don't think it's worth putting that in until I actually know how I want to manage this in the grander scheme. Oh yeah, and we need to probably have a cancel option for the dialogue. I think I just put a close button in the bottom. Like that. I think I can just... There is a way of having a close button be automatical. I think if I just have close as a string in here, that'll do the trick. Layout. Close. If auto close is enabled. I just don't want it to close when I click anything. Ah, okay, no, that's fine. Hey, look at that. Alright. So this is really, it's not really anything functional. It's designed to be a place where I can put these things. And for now, I think once it detaches, all of this should get reset. Let us make sure we don't leave anything behind, because that could be awkward. Yeah. And then we don't want to have any other garbage logging happening. And I think that works. And that's our beginning of our layout feature. And I think it's quite well contained. And I think this can go in. So I got a new version. Version 0.543. Alright. Alright. And then I think... you can just deploy this to beta. If I go to beta, something like this, right? Check what version we're on. 0.5.4, is that the right deployed version? 5.4.3. Cool. So we should now be able to open this up. Switch, nope, it's not there. Yeah, there it is. Close. And enable Octopuzzle UI. There we go. Now the limits, you know, debatable and all that, especially for streamers and YouTubers who want to set up the layout. But at least it's a start. All right, I gotta get going. Gotta take Toby out. Thanks for hanging out, guys. Take care, and see you guys in the next one. Tomorrow, I'll probably have an Elden Ring stream, maybe early in the day. See ya. Have a good day.